Hello, 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 and welcome to the Wolves of Ron, where the elements have not loaded properly. Welcome to
We
the
love to
Wolves of
see.
Ron, where I'm going to start my camera.
Where technical difficulties abound.
I have a difficulty so much as
There be technical issues. You best start believing in technical issues. You're in one.
Hey,
I swear I used to be funnier.
oh,
you're
Or
good.
perhaps more self-conceited. I don't know what the difference is.
not want to seem to give my my video there. Remind me. Ah, God.
Ain't that just the way?
Avi is the boar.
Yep.
Amba is the hawk.
Yuppers.
That is the raven. Both.
Damn straight.
I thought the ah.
These things, they just happen.
So, hello and welcome. The high seas. Find ourselves assailing Trogborg. Y- Yarla dead? No, Yarla's not dead. Yarla's right here. Trogborg, Yarla, and Elbum find themselves journeying. And the question between your two ships now becomes where you shall sail. And for those purposes, I believe a map would. So, East Curlizia splays out before you, wanton and inviting, yet treacherous.
And
You have
so off those wanton things are.
You have raided the Isle of Yoltat and the Covenant Point Monastery. Or, yeah, and you have overcome the curse of the ancient ruin. You have sampled the beverages of the Alkirlizia Alehouse, and your B characters from the Underdecks plotline have ventured into the goo deep and returned with the sail to catch all wind.
Mostly alive.
Yes, mostly alive. So, after a good bit of eating and fun, now find yourselves ready for journey. And the question is simply, where shall thou sail?
Well, once upon a time, were we
Hmm.
not invited to the Wizard's Tower over up the river yonder?
Is that the same wizard's tower that has something to do with water elementals and such?
I don't remember that.
Were you tasked by a dragon with killing somebody in a wizard's tower, or am I
I
So,
think that was
yes,
someone
misremembering?
else.
okay, here's the situation.
Two wizard
You are
towers.
on the side of a swamp dragon in a conflict between a swamp dragon and a sea dragon, or at least one of your friends who has a rock stuck in his eye is. Whether or not you are, that's another matter. Uh, but down here at F10 is the Spire of Swamp. There is presently a prince and his army camped outside, and the owner's undead are sort of on the loose. And she is a friend of the swamp dragon Ogdike. The sea dragon,
Hmm.
uh, there is a greater elemental in the Spire of Sea who's trying to align themselves with the sea dragon. and there is a really cool gem there that Ogdyke, the swamp dragon, would like for you to heal for him, and possibly kill the water elemental while you're out there. So there are two towers. Both of them have something that you could do for you to head there.
So two towers, both alike in dignity. I see.
Wasn't there also something in like at L11?
At 11.5, there is a village. A curious sort of village, a swamp village on stilts. And because your ship has portage as a longship, it is shallow draft enough to pass through swamps at half speed. So you could sail both your longships right up to this village. Out of the way village, not terribly well populated. Could be an easy pickings if you wanted to do some raiding. And you hear that they make various alchemical things in jars, including some sort of a healing paste. And, well, healing goods are in short supply. So, the
Ooh, I
shrub.
do like the sound of that.
Yeah, so there's a question of, and at D11 there is a town led by a lady. You would get paid for killing, but she has like a camp with soldiers and is not going to be so easy at pickings as a village.
And what were the tasks that we were? I'm sorry to make this like the exposition uh hour, but what were the tasks that we were given potentially by the insurrectionist slash
Kill
totally not Southern CIA lady?
kill every Western Curlizia. Kill every like ranking noble. Like she's gonna pay you for every ranking noble that you kill, and she was going to pay you for killing the clergy, but then she realized chaos is rising and was like,
Mm,
I'll pay you for that last one, but let's hold off. I'm not gonna help you, or I'm not gonna reward you for knocking out the lady who runs Seminary Rock. Um,
well, that's her loss. We're gonna do it anyway.
well, it's all the way over here, so it might be a
Eventually,
while.
maybe
Um, but yeah, so
hypothetically.
the ranking noble, and also she'll only pay you for the prince and princess as a package deal. She does not want you to just kill the prince or the princess and then give it a while, because that will almost certainly cement the reign behind the other one. So you really
Hmm.
need to connive up a way to kill them both more or less simultaneously. Otherwise, it's a no-go. But
Gotcha.
the Lady of Bayfairy Town and the Lord of Steed Isle Castle Town are the two ranking nobles who you would be compensated for. There are some, like there's like a baron lives in Adhus City under the nose of the princess, who you could in theory also kill. But there's a limit to that in terms of whether or not you'd make it out alive.
No, that sounds like a future us problem.
So
Agreed.
On all fronts, I think we do something with the wizard or the swamp.
Well, I do like the sound of healing supplies. Um, those do come in handy in a pinch. So that's my vote, is to go for that swamp
Achoo!
village.
Sounds like a plan.
Prepare for the long term.
Frogban Village, where you set your sights. So you set out, and there's a easy sailing, and with the sail to catch all winds on your main ship, you got a fine course. The group, I mean, you want to like draw where you want to sail, or should I just make a educated guess that you want to make a fairly straight line without going to another major location?
I'm fine with you driving.
Yeah, I'm fine too.
All right, so you shoot through the swamp and head down. So start of the day, consider that you have a speed of 9. 1, 2, and then it is halved. 4, 5, 6. 7, 8. Ah, you're just. You know what? The sun will be setting just as you crest your boats in. And as for the weather report, well, well, well. As it turns out, as your little caravan of boats treads in, you see flashings of light from the Spire Swamp in the distance. Yeah, but you move guised by swamp trees, and a moderate rain and a fog roll in. It's hard to see deep, and even if you were, you are now reduced. I mean, the sails are down. You're oaring your way, catching the paddles in like mangrove tree and various other swamp tree root, pushing around clods, and you are growing closer and closer till you're no longer even quite sure where you are. And is eventually a company halt is called, and it is determined that it would be best not to arrive ignorant of the terrain. And people begin to punt, saying, "Who's the best one of us in swamps to go scout it?" And people attempt to nominate one another. It becomes clear that to make your headway in this thick fog and unfamiliar area,
We're gonna need a scout.
yes, you're going to probably need a hearty crew scout for you. So that raises the question: who's headed in?
I suppose we should be the scouts now.
Yes, it's gonna be fun. Let's do it.
Yes, let's do it.
Perfect. At the very least, I'm not burdened by a cowardly crew.
Find yourselves in the swamp and find yourselves mucking about in it. Um,
In it?
in it, Album,
What?
Strogborg, and Yarla find themselves midst of a very wet and muddy and overgrown and viney swamp. You are set with just your wits about you to cut forth. You are accompanied by Vermson, the peasant son, and one of your stalwart Nord. 5,
Very good.
make a sortie and make to scout Ogban. So, who among you feels the most inclined to lead? Yeah, you know, broadly speaking, where it is, but you've never been here. It's a foggy swamp. You're gonna have to. It's gonna be about navigation, both physical and like figuring out where there might be a place to go.
Well, I am a far traveler. I'm no stranger to new places. I do not
Well, there you
mind
go.
leading the way.
By
I
all
also
means.
have a title of explorer, so I think Trogborg is
Oh, you might be even better suited.
Yeah,
yeah, except wisdom is a dumb stat. So let's see.
that's very funny. I'll give you advantage, Ramba, to see Trogborg, the intrepid adventurer. Maybe he gets lucky.
What?
Very nice.
Well, as it turns out, you do. You see well-worn tracks, cut vine signs of tie-offs where swamp boats have been used, and dredgings of nets and movement of heavy rocks, showing telltale signs of fishing and travel. Make your way closer and closer to their heart, and you feel certain that you are upon edge of this
Excellent.
civilization. However, at outermost edge, there is a flashing light distinctly, and you all find yourselves befuddled at it, unsure what it could be. Give me an int check, Javier, in particular. I think that you might have knowledge.
I'll happily do so.
By the way, not to be a Professor Oak type, but is Elbum a boy?
Album is a
Yeah.
he, yes.
All right, so he sees, with his elven eyes, oh, a bluish, and you're sure what you gaze upon must be a wisp, will o' the wisp, although it seems a little different than now.
Hmm.
What
And
is the will of the wisp?
there are two, two of them. Who knows what this will is? But you're not a lawyer here to make up their final documents. Care about the will. Aha! No, you do. Um, your firm's just been contracted. So the will-o-wisp pair approaches uh, glitteringly, flutteringly, and
Oh, flutteringly. Wow.
these two balls of light that I'm slowly working in emerge with a blue glow about them, and thus having emerged, they are upon you. I
Oh,
love I love stalling for. Okay, so there's a pair of wisps. Oh, of course, the fucking art's. I love internet. Um, whatever the fuck. I love edging. I love edgecraft. Oh, okay. Below the wisps have appeared before. Uh, they seem focused upon your arrival and turning about you, the flutter and a flicker, piercing the heavy fog that has otherwise enshrouded you. They attempt to
well,
ward you off. They seem to be headed towards you. There is a sadness and a mournfulness. There's sort of a
hmm,
frenetic energy to them. What do you do?
well, uh, general wisdom says that wisps serve only to mislead and make you lose your way. But
Hmm.
you said something this is different about these.
Yeah, there's something ever so off. Normally you'd be expecting these souls of the dead trying to blue damnation. Give me a wisdom check to ponder.
Okay.
I too would like to ponder this orb.
Yeah, anybody wants. Okay. Elbin, I feel like sorrow, and almost sympathy motivates them. Or empathy. Yarla, you see the
Mm-hmm.
faces of the dying in a flash of light. You realize that they are calling out with their death rattle across the years to ward you away from the horrible fate they faced. As you see people who are being eaten, throwing up their hand in the light, trying to drive you away, shaking their head no.
Eaten by what?
It's not clear. You only see the animation of the ghost. It's like the ghost is showing its final moments to you, but it can only show itself, its own form, being ripped apart.
These creatures were once humans, devoured by something that they wish us not fall affliction to. They
Oh
are
my.
different from most wisps. They mean to ward us from this place.
Now, is
That
the
said, now that we
area
know the threat that awaits, it's our
You are
prerogative whether we should
Krogborg is
enter.
totally confident that what lies beyond them is the village.
Hmm.
okay? Oh, the plot thickens.
Well, perhaps the village is full of cannibals.
Hmm, wouldn't be the first one I've run into. Nasty business.
It's a crime against the gods. We should kill them for that alone, pipes up the Nord. And Vermson says, I've always heard strange things about the people of Bogban Village. They say the lady pays them little mind when they send only a few taxes and few uh, warriors of the land. They say that they ward away people who seek to travel over land. This way her fairy town is enriched, so they have no quarrel.
Hmm.
The hour grows
Well,
late. There is a twilight, piercing fog.
I must admit my interest is piqued, but we should return to the group and report what we found.
Indeed, I concur.
So, yeah,
The
shall we
party,
make our way back?
Yes.
so the party thus warded off returns. Yep.
Yeah, boarded for now. More forestalled than warded, truly.
You find yourselves in
Indeed.
under the thick swamp canopy. Light faded already, with only a trill of orange piercing the fog above. What turn with this report to your comrades? What do you suppose?
Hmm.
Well, I'd say to everyone on the crew, we've found the way in into the village, uh, but foul omens tell of a great danger within. Now, I say we do what we do best and come prepared for a fight.
Cry goes up.
Alternatively, Yarla says in jest ringing in her voice, we could grab the frailest amongst us and fill them with poison and propose that the inhabitants of the village eat them and thereby poison all the villagers.
There is a bawdy laughter.
But I want to
Perhaps it would
stab
just be better
them.
to fight.
Yay!
While I do approve of cutting, uh, we don't even know for sure that it is cannibals. That's the danger.
Well, if it be something else, an axe in hand is better than one at the on our hips.
In fact,
A
I don't
fight we
think.
shall prepare for.
Yes, indeed.
So, you see that the approach to the village offers no way for a ship as large as a longship to, like, pierce ashore, so to speak. You are going to have to dismount and log in. And much like Kenny's logins entering the danger zone, question mark, you are going
What?
to um, have a certain period of range vulnerability, but the tree line is so thick that it won't be that extensive. That being said, you're not going to reach the first houses before they've noticed you. That just isn't going to happen. So you know that, but you have your shields and you have your armor, and no one's particularly afraid. And I mean, you haven't laid eyes on the village, but you hear it's but a minor swamp village. Gives a shit, right?
Exactly.
Well, are they
Yeah.
miners or are they fishers?
My God.
Boo.
Yeah.
Just trying to be clear here.
What do you?
Well, I think we should. We don't necessarily have to go in axes swinging. Um, can we?
Carla sadly puts
How
her
about
axe slowly
this?
down.
How about this? We go with a full contingent, but we keep forces in reserve, and a smaller group of us, namely, us, go in first, and we have a signal prepared to call for backup.
And do you want to bring just yourselves, or you mean Vermsum and the Nord as well?
It could be the same scouting party, I would say.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Why is this album right up? Okay. So you approach. Your allies lie in wait just off the board in the swamp, waiting your signal or clear signs of battle before entering in and conflict is met. There's a heavy fog and it is very late.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, that seems like good odds for us. These are villagers. Late is not to their advantage to be at their keenest. We are warriors. We stay up late. We don't have bedtimes.
Very true.
I'm also stalling for least time.
so you find yourselves at the edge of the village. Everything you see, the reason they don't have like light walls blocking you is that like no there's no tall trees remaining anywhere in town. They've been cleared. This is like a soft peaty sort of soil. There's water and all of these buildings are up on stilts.
Hmm.
So the marked pools are about like 5 feet deep at the edge and probably 10 feet at the middle. You also can't help but notice there was what appears to be a stone vault, somewhat sticking up out of this water pool.
Stone vault?
Yeah, like the kind that you bury people in Louisiana.
Oh, you
Like
mean a
the
mausoleum?
no, like instead of like a normal grave, it's like a stone thing they put in the ground so it won't be washed away in floods and shit. Because a regular coffin will be if you do it in a certain kind of a floodplain area.
Hmm. Okay, it's not like the entrance to something. It's just like a grave.
Yeah, it looks like an upturned grave. Like maybe water is strong enough did actually leave it at a jaunty angle. And yeah, you see there's a number of shacks, and as you enter, the nearest one to you is half-cracked white tile and a half-thatched roof with a 5-foot gap, always spewing white smoke. Uh, there's an individual who looks to be rather piratical, sat there with his two wives, um, and there is your immediate for what appears to be a house just full of peasants uh, with bows, and there's blood stains on uneven timbers and thin, strained stilts. Skulls are marking the corner of each. And
You know
but
what? This place is pretty grim.
and below the deck, there's a stained burlap sacks stuffed with what appears to be animal carcass bits and small bone chips. There is one jar marked with a leaf and star, and two jars marked with an X. These Vermson whispers, "That's what the stuff they make looks like in those jars." And indeed, in the underdeck over here, there is grass, bugs, and water. There's nothing in particular. So what stands out to you the most is that there's a thickly planked and thoroughly nailed house, peeling edges with further layers of plank and a firm, flat wooden roof, almost like a coffin on stilts, over here at the eastern edge. Seems set away from all others, and rather than a surround deck, it just has a single entrance and is completely windowless. Additionally, there was a big house, thick walled house rising 10 foot above the deck line, the steepled thatch roof reaching up to 15 feet at its apex. Gaps for air and smoke flow opposite the front door. This is almost like that primary house in the last village, but put up on stilts. Do you feel like this is probably where whoever runs the place is? Whatever building this is, it's windowless. It appears to have some other purpose. Um, People peer out at you questioningly as you approach. You know, there's 5 peasants living in the family, and one might term the Jägerhus, because there are in fact hunters there. But
Hmm.
you don't, people seem to be headed back to their homes, and they don't seem to be involved in anything. There's this small house with a lady and her husband. So yeah, there's like stuff going on and people moving about, but they don't seem to be like coming out to strike up a conversation with.
Hmm. Well, let's go to the big house in the center. It's
Oh
probably
yeah.
where whoever's in charge here is,
So
don't you think?
the 5 of you march right into town, find your way up. There's like a bit of like ramp stairway to the edge of these near the doors. Find your way up to the big old door, and it slides open.
How nice.
Well,
You see a strange looking figure with an even stranger looking staff. Either side of him are his 2 wives. You see that there's a gap for air and smoke to flow above, and you smell immediately burnt and smoked fish. There's a large fire pit in the center of this room that he is presently at the edge of. There are stacks of goods to the south. There's a fur-lined sleeping mats to the north. And you see that there's a crocodile skin rug as you first step in. He looks them up and down and says, "Approach my village late at night. We're here to do business. Enter."
all right.
Excellent. That's what we're here for.
Kind of steps back from the fire and lets you come in. So I mentioned earlier that he has a staff in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
It is a skull and spine of the human variety, fashioned into a staff with tar, calcified gore, and packed greenery adorning it and holding the grim mechanism together. Album, there is no mistake in your mind that this staff is a wand, in the sense that it is possessed of magical capability, augmentation, and spells all its own.
Oh my. How gruesome. How concerning.
So, do you all pile it? Vermson is like shaking his boots. Do you guys step in and come say hello?
We'll
Yeah,
stand at the door.
I will step in. Um,
So
I
you
don't,
step
I
in.
don't suppose there's any way to passively tell if there's a magical trickery afoot.
Do you have anything that? Do you have detect magic?
I do, in fact. Should I go ahead and cast it? Is that the...
I mean, if you want, I mean, I think that you'd be kind of obvious casting the spell. If you want to keep it on the down low, I will say you took the elf option that makes you better at magic, didn't you?
Yes.
I'm gonna say you have a certain attunement to it. You vibe it out. You don't think there's an illusion at play here. That doesn't
Okay.
mean there isn't other magic, let me be very clear, but you don't
Sure.
think there's an illusion. This guy really looks creepy. He's really got a skull staff and a skull and spine staff. He's really got some goods and some fur and 2 wives here.
Okay.
That's probably the important part.
It's a sketchy neighborhood, but it is in fact a neighborhood. I stroll in, wherever there's space to
At the edge of the fire pit, you pull up. He looks you over and he says, "What is your name, elf?"
greetings, my name is Album. I'm here with a traveling company. We've heard that you make many useful poultices and would like to make trade
You
for
have
our
heard
travels.
wrong. We do not make poultices. Articulates and says, "What we make is held in jars." You see that there's 18 jars to the south. And I will just make a prayer to general
Ah, yes, a
designate
distinction I'm aware of in real life.
the you know. So there are 18 jars stacked up there. Six leaf and star, six marked with an X, and the third type you haven't seen before. What you can tell is the symbol of the evil eye has been made on six of them. There are 20 swamp wood planks, 120 feet of rope, two lanterns, 10 oil flasks, and what appears to be roughly 200 GP in stacks of various coinage. And he says, "The hour grows late. My name, Goranter. I am the head man of this village. You have need of doing business. Tell me, what do you do?"
Well, since this is our first time here, what do you have to offer?
Falls his lip. One of the women, and she, looking into the middle distance past you, throatly, um, begins to explain. We have three types of jars that we offer: Bogban tar, marsh jars, and he kind of like trails off, says, "Only two jars are for sale. The marsh jars are full of the gas of the swamp. They explode. Bogban tar is specially processed swamp tar that melds crushed bone paste, dried livers to create a contact applied healing sedative. The method is known only to our alchemists. Every application restores level many HP, but also leaves the body part unresponsive from the ground. Applications to torso and
Hmm.
head render them unconscious. Very low blood pressure for them. Full jar of tar has enough for two applications. They are each worth 10 gold pieces." And Corinter says, "I don't think the woman outside the house needs to pay in if you're the one who's..."
We do these things together. Yarla is simply a cautious sort. Uh, for that reason alone, she stands outside.
My people are a cautious sort as well. Don't like strangers. He kind of gesticulates and says, "What will you buy?"
Well, well. All of
I,
these things. Hmm?
I was trying to chat.
Ah, all of these things are of interest. Tell you what, I would like to purchase a sample. And as you say, it is late. Um, we may come back in the morning when there is more time to talk and trade and to carry said wares back. Let's see. I like wander over toward the array of jars. How about one of the healing jars.
May take. And he points one marked.
Oof.
Points not to the one with the X or the evil eye, but with the leaf and star pattern.
Very good. Um, shoot. I currently do not have any money marked on my character sheet, but
Well,
I
the ship
must.
has lots of fucking loot, so would you just be handing him like a bunch of shit you've obviously stolen from a monastery worth 10 GP? Because you can do that.
I mean, we must have some coins laying around. I would prefer to be
Yeah, you give him the
less
cash.
conspicuous. Um,
You
yeah.
note that he seems to, as he gets annoyed, he starts to put his hand on a bone horn on his hip.
Oh.
Yeah. But you hand over the money to his
Mhm.
wife, and he says that will be all.
Well, I am a curious sort. What is this third type? I understand it's not for sale, but what is it?
And he says that is not for you to wife. You know, unenthused, and she kind of says, "I shouldn't have."
Can I press him?
Yeah, you can. What do you say to him when you press?
Um, I have studied a few different, alchemies. I've traveled far, seen many things. I've never seen this. It For you to be one of the main things you make, you must have some pride in it.
So,
Hmm.
give me a charisma check.
All right.
Good of you to appeal to that which comes before the fall. Good
He
work.
smiles
God
darkly
damn it.
and says, "You're very right, elf. Do take great
Well,
pride in it, but not everything here is. Now then." He looks outside, and the last vestiges of the twilight are going, and he says, "Why don't you see the village?" And you can tell that, like, even if you start going right now, you're probably not getting out of here before sunset. Like, the sun is setting.
Okay. Yeah, it's time to go. I bow
I think.
respectfully
Hmm.
and start heading out.
Yeah, you're up against the wall looking in the window, or come through
Oh,
the
that's the
window.
window. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Just as
these little things are windows. These are doors. Yeah.
as Elvin is walking out, Yarla kind of just opens the door, and I'll be frank. She's tall, she's wide, she's rather intimidating. She's probably, I mean, with your permission, Javi, I would assume she's a little bit bigger than Elvin in all respects.
Yes, I would
Uh,
figure.
so she kind of prevents you from getting out, and looking down and then around at the area. Now, where were these jars again? If you could
In the
point on
blue
the map, Lee.
the goods are all stored in the blues.
Yeah, she kind of just walks over here and says, as she looks around, now just one more thing, as she hurls one of those last potions at the old man.
So what happens is, uh, so he looks at you. He's got the pillar point. He has this staff pointed at you the moment you advance on the goods. You, like, the jar cracks over him, right? And at the same moment, he uses the Bogman's pillar staff to shoot acid arrow at you.
All right.
And maybe I should have mentioned this, but for the record, my idea was for us to get back to the full raiding party and
That was
plan.
an idea.
Yeah.
Continue.
And to do a full raid, because I did not like their
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah. So an
Oh,
acid
we're gonna
arrow
full raid. Don't
slams into Yarla. What cracks open out of the third type is, in fact, you realize it was a canopic jar. As you see, what appears to be a mummified yet still beating liver spleen amalgam fall dustily out.
Ugh.
And immediately as he does this, he shot Yarla with his acid arrow, and he screams, "They defile!" And you hear like movement around the village, but he's right now, as we roll initiative, going for the horn on his belt. So it's party time, friends. I hope you came prepared. And I would note your companions were ready to go at the first sign of battle. So when it becomes obvious that battle has been met, they are going to rush in from the northeast.
Excellent.
Yarla,
Let's try and
you win initiative.
light a bonfire.
Important note: acid arrow stays in you and will deal 1d6 acid on each of his turns as long as he stays focused on the spell. If you hit him, you can force him to make his focus check.
Oh, I'm planning on doing exactly that. It had nothing to do with the acid arrow and everything to do with the fact that he's going for the thing on his hip, which I would like to. I'm aiming for his hip here, either to break his hand, the horn, or his belt, or between.
Any target's good.
All right. Now, important note: are you trying to get possession, or are you just trying to hit it?
I want to hit.
Okay. You go for the horn, and
Well, mostly him. I'd be happy with chopping his hand off.
okay. So mostly him. You're shooting for that neighborhood. Is that what I'm to understand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You deal your full 4 damage. He lets out a cry. He drops the horn with his blood on it, and it is now a Nord's turn. Who looks around, and there's like a peasant coming out with, a short bow in hand, about to point. And this guy does not wait, and your boy just tosses a javelin right for center of mass. And the guy staggers back, on death's door, thrust by a javelin, as he says, "To arms, sons of Odin!" And if the boys weren't coming, they are now. The cultist heels down, grabs the horn. With a grim smile, Corinter says, "Take it!" And, actually, so wait, no, his one hand is ruined. His other hand's on the staff. He kicks the horn at Yarla, and it touches her. At that exact moment, a horrible, horrible sound sounds.
Oh, from the horn?
Yeah, the moment it does to someone who isn't him, the sound comes out. And you start to hear a schlorping sound. You see through the window back here, Yarla? You start to see forms. It's like people are coming out of... Oh. Well, they were people. They were past tense sorts of people. As you see 9 zombies emerging from this pool.
Guys, we might be in trouble.
Oh, joy.
And alongside them, 1 ghoul.
This is not great, I will say. A little bit suboptimal.
Now, I have a question. Is anybody's eyes on the liver spleen amalgam?
Yes, I would, because I still want to know what it is.
It seems to pulse and move more as the ghoul animates.
Hmm. Gross. Could I try Well, should I wait for my turn or?
It's about to be your turn. So, I mean, what are you planning to do?
I just wanted to see if I could use my wizardly knowledge to assess the nature of what fell out of the jar, or,
Yeah, you give me an int.
Determine what the fuck that is.
Yeah. That's a 15.
So, yeah, necromancy is the short answer. The longer answer is you suspect that this necromancy is probably tied to the remote control of animated dead, ritually bound by some fell magics. You postulate that if the control mechanism were destroyed, so too would the undead be destroyed. I would like to just put a meaningful aside here, right? Because you see this, even if you're not actively thinking about it in the moment. There are 6 evil eye marked. There were 6, now 5 evil eye marked canopic jars in this pile.
Okay. That's well, that is good to know. I will wait to act, but I will. Well, now I'll just wait to act.
Well, Frogborg, Vermson does nothing of meaningful. He's completely shocked. Violence is inevitable 6 ways to Sunday. The people are kind of like getting up into their houses, but some of them seem armed. So the village itself is going to give you resistance as well. Violence is inevitable on all fronts. And, yeah, you're probably about to have a really bad time.
All right, Yarla, let's go poke the guy in the robes.
I'm way ahead of you, buddy. I got his one hand. You want to get his other?
All right, so you're going for Mr. Village Head.
Yeah.
You run up on him, and 9. By the way, all of you get a point of lucky when the horn goes off. Just so lucky yourself if you don't already have it. And I think, Pat, you get to have 2 if you have Freya active or something. I regret to inform you that the cultist's garb and dexterous nature seem to prevent a 9 from striking him. Trogborg, are you gonna let that stand, or?
Yes. Cool. I'm gonna get that going, and then spend a luck and add in a 1d6.
Wow.
Plus 1d6 plus 3.
Okay. The blessings of Freya lead you to strike down. Is that one-handed or two-handed?
Two-handed, because I haven't picked up a new shield.
Your blessings of Freya allow you to strike down the foe in a single shot. Corinter is dead, and the pillar, the Bogman's pillar, clatters to the ground. His wives shriek out in surprise and anger, and it looks like there is about to be a peasant town beatdown as this whole situation goes to shit.
Do we start breaking the jars now, gang?
Some of them are worth keeping. Only break the canopic-looking ones.
Correct.
Right,
What's
now,
a canopic?
The ones with the evil eyes have livers in them, and livers are bad. That's why we drink.
Okay.
Album.
Okay. Thank you.
Album, it's your turn. What do you do?
So I presume the gross necromancy stuff from the jar is still like pulsing and stuff.
Yes. You want to like crush it?
I have a dagger. I will
You can just stab it. It's not, as long as you have the action economy available, it like shivers, goes erect, and then falls. And the ghoul outside begins to disintegrate, just hits the ground, dead again for full this time. That does take an action, but you've neutralized the ghoul.
Excellent. Okay, so I quickly explained to everyone else, it's now that my theory is confirmed, that we want to destroy all the evil eye jars, for they control the undead.
Brilliant.
At the start of the round, two things happen. One, your allies appear from the northeast. Yay! Two, another pool of undead begin to emerge from this area with the slightly raised vault.
Yeah, I should have seen that coming.
Yeah.
They move slowly, so they'll all be initiative 0. But, Yarla, it's your turn. The village
Alright,
head lies on the ground dead. His wives look like they're about to start trying to stab and shit. And there's undead rising. Your allies appear from the north. They move on Gazdog's turn.
So I turned to the wives of the now deceased cult leader, and I asked them, combatants or unwilling victims who get a chance to live?
They raise their daggers at you and scream.
I see. Time to stab them. That was supposed to precede a roll. Ah, there we go.
Your blow
Was an 11
strikes true, lopping off her head and sending it rolling through the window.
I turned to the other. I did give you a choice.
She does not seem to be processing that at the moment, as she's presently trying to trying to get revenge more than anything right now.
So,
The
pity about that.
the
You know what they say about revenge?
Nord forms up at the door and says, "We're about to be overrun. We should hold this high ground while we can. Burmson with me," and steps back into the doorway. Burmson not hesitating to join him. So the town animates. The peasants in this house come out and start shooting their arrows. One of them tried to get a shot at the Nord, can't, and then has a shot at Yarla through the window and shoots a short bow.
Ooh.
Critting you
Ooh.
for 4.
Yarla immediately dies.
Shoot up at 6 of 14, you know. You guys have a lot of healing stuff in there, but, you know. The various villagers of all over are starting to make their moves. And suffice to say, they mostly seem to be peasants and peasant families who are starting to mobilize. Note that a lot of their underdeck areas have those X-marked zones. Sorry, jars.
Wait, they have jars of their own?
The underdeck areas have various jars, yes. Sorry, that's when I described under number 7, you saw 2 jars marked with an X and 1 with leaf and star. So there's 2 explosives and 1 healing jar under this house to your north that someone just shot at you from.
Well, if we can shoot the explosive one from afar, we could prevent them from using it as a projectile at all.
Well, if you take over jar destroying here, I can fire off from afar.
Yarla stares at you with arms wide. Do you think I can't handle destroying things?
Right.
That's the spirit.
So, the peasants go. Trogborg actually got the killing blow on the husband, so I'm going to say she just tries to knife Trog. Ignore the fact this is a club. Tries to knife Trogborg, wanting revenge. Does a 15 hit you? I think it does, Ramba. So, boom.
Yep. I get hit. Ouch.
With that, your allies advance. They are Viking raiders, some experience. They easily come up to this place. Find that the man within offers them no quarrel, and so they instead move past the pirate's house, these other locations. Battle is quickly met. One of the hunters goes down, an errant shot, and broadly speaking, two sides meet. Despite their veteran status, mucking about in the mire has really slowed them, and your heroes are sort of broken up on the advance and not doing their best as the fight progresses, but they are starting to get in and kill some peasants. Burmson has fallen back and is cowering. Trogborg, it's your turn.
All right. Lady tried to stab me. That wasn't nice. But then again, we're not nice people, so I stab back.
Yeah, we're not.
Okay. You drive your blade into the peasant. She dies in a single horrible blow to the gut. Dead of shock before she hits the ground. Done. You want to move around or do anything?
Yeah, I kind of need to get into that zone with the canoptic jars and just, like, get myself ready to just start smashing them.
Yep, you get in there with the canopic jars. Album. It's your turn.
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna look out the window where we were shot from. You said there's some jars underneath. House number 7.
Correct. There are 2 jars marked with an X and 1 with a leaf and star.
And are there any comrades in the immediate vicinity of the jars of the house?
No, not yet, but they're about to be.
Okay. I would like to try firing a magic missile at one of the X jars.
Be that cast.
There's the button. It's always with advantage, right?
Yep. Okay. Both of them explode in a chain reaction.
Beautiful.
Those at the periphery are allowed a dexterity save, but those near the core simply take the damage. This woman managed to leap into the peat below, a little bit beyond, as a fiery inferno kills the rest of her family, and fire emerges, burning. It collapses, really. This is a ruin in very short order. Red light in the fog illuminating the place as it just collapses into so much swampwood beams.
Potent stuff. Don't drop those jars.
Indeed.
Noted.
That'd be bad. So. And you're where you want to be for your turn, right? The window?
Sure. I'll keep watch for the turn.
Zombies from the pools start to march for the building you're in. The deck out back doesn't have a way up, but the front one does. The ones in the southern pool, D, are pretty much just waking up still. I'm far higher percentage ghouls, and maybe even aghast, as seen on TV, but not right now because I don't have art for it. The northeastern pool B, by your friends. Oh, those are skeletons and zombies and ghouls. Uh-oh.
Skellies and zombies and ghouls, oh my.
Oh my, indeed. Undead emerge all over these pools. Yarla.
All right. Well, how many more of these friggin' evil eye jars are there?
There are 5 more inside the house, and
Are they like all in the same place, or are they like on different shelves?
they're in the pile where Trogborg is. I would note, outside the house, there were 12 of each type of jar underneath this big house. So there's 12 evil eye jars below this house alone. And also 12
Okay.
X marked. And remember, the X marked deals 2d6 to those who are near its epicenter automatically, and then a dex save to half far away. So if the big house were to go up, 12, 24d6 at its center, e.g. where Yarla stands right now. So you are at an elevated position of safety,
Oh my
but it
God.
does have its dangers.
I did not realize that there were so many underneath the house as well. Okay.
Yeah, there's
Right,
undernets on all of the houses except for 8, which is a mysterious and weird one that doesn't seem to have the normal stuff. But Yarla, what do you do? All of the foes inside the house are dead, and there's zombies who will probably be clawing at the door at the start of next turn.
Awesome.
Your Nord and peasant companion presently guard the door, but you know. You climb out through a larger window, such as the ones to this back porch.
Right. Yeah, the real question is, what do I do this round while I wait for the zombies to get closer to me?
Can I destroy some jars?
Yeah, I honestly, yeah, I think throwing some jars is probably a very smart move for someone that isn't me, because I'm going to pick up this peasant woman and use her as a bludgeoning tool to destroy the remaining evil eye jars.
All right, up here.
Yeah, I wanna destroy all the remaining evil
Give me
eye
a
jars
strength
that are
check.
in my presence.
Frogborg, you start to like come around methodically breaking them like it's you're playing Zelda, but Yarla flaps a corpse around. She does knock some of the jars over and crack them, and you see like hearts and brains mummified and beating, and like but it doesn't really destroy them. It is
Probably should have used my sword.
the Nord's turn. It's the cultist's turn. So
I'm happy to be the last one standing in this building if y'all want to flee.
Well,
and
wouldn't
one of the
flee
people in
per
this
se,
house
but,
yelled, "Mama, they killed the big house man!" And she says, "Children, get out there and kill those slimy raiders. They're trying to steal our jars."
Oh my god.
oh no.
Yes, Mama Crusher, rolling pin in hand, has entered the fray.
Trying to steal our jars.
Yeah, you can see she's got a whole bunch of black candle wax in her house. She makes the aesthetic spooky black candles. And she's got her whole family ready to try and murder you with blunt implements.
Yeah.
Honestly,
We
respect.
really just stumbled into a southern gothic here. What the hell?
Indeed. So these peasants sort of like hold back from the encroaching dead, not feeling confident charging you in front of the stream. These ones are locked in horrible battle. Several of them are like, people are like running out of their houses. Things are going badly for them. See, there's a smoky house that's always putting out smoke, and you see there's a man and his wife presently trying to shove as much seed bread into burlap sacks as they can as they witness what's going on outside.
You know what? Those guys, we can let live.
Those are the smart ones.
Mm-hmm. They're looting just like us.
There's an older woman with a lot of swamp grass around and her 4 children who emerges from the southern house. And yeah, that's it for the peasant front. You can expect a lot of violence. Your allies, your heroic allies, e.g. the party members whose players aren't here right now, and your your other characters like Vormor, do battle against the undead at the edge of the swamp. This leaves Ben and the main force to chop up some peasants.
We'd love to see it.
They die.
As is a peasant's lot.
Yeesh. Alright, so I have a suggestion for us in the house.
Leave.
We've got a whole bunch of necromancy jars here, and also a bunch of explosives. We could spend just a little time grabbing what we want to take with us, namely the gold that is in the house, and the healing jars and such. And then set the whole shit on fire.
You know what? That's a brilliant idea. The problem, of course, is deciding what we want, but my mama always told me letting go was the hard part.
I mean, I think we pretty much just want the money and the healing pots and maybe a couple explosives.
Take this guy's staff.
No, I think we should destroy that.
It did some good damage on me. But if you don't want it, I mean, who else is gonna use it?
I'm definitely not gonna use it. That thing's gross. Very bad juju.
Fair enough.
It
Well,
looks
let's
evil.
leave it to Hell then. The goddess, of course.
So your allies move around. Brimson holds the door, and Trogborg, you can grab up like a bundle of shit a turn. I would say maybe a dex to go faster, but you might drop stuff if you do badly. Are you on team loot right now?
Since they said loot, I'm looting.
Okay.
The magic word.
And
Are you focused on something in particular, or are you just going for like whatever is first?
Trogborg is just going with whatever's closest. Wisdom is a dump stat. He's just grabbing. Except the creepy canoptic jars.
Here's a question: how many inventory slots do you have?
9.
Well, so one of them is dedicated to 200 GP in coinage, and there's 10 oil flasks here. You could grab as many of those as you have open slots. The rest of the shit is left. Now, this is the rest of the shit. So like, you know, you can prioritize what you want to grab. But you loot. That leaves 5 beating organs on the floor. It is Elbum's turn. Elbum, you're pretty sure that because nobody's finished off those organs yet, whatever undead they control aren't going to go down before the undead hit the front door unless something happens. What do you do?
Uh,
Want to stab?
Shoot. Okay. My thinking was that we'd try to explode them all at the same time, but I guess we don't have enough time for that.
I mean, Vermson and your friend are going to hold them at the door, and you have allies outside. You could reason that you still have time to make that plan happen, but there would be risk. What's one
Let's lie for
round?
that a little
What's
risk.
one round stabbing zombies? You know what I mean?
What is actually the Dex? Because why not just start throwing the explosives?
Yeah, you could. Important note.
We got windows.
Important
That's
note.
true.
They need to hit a hard surface to detonate. So if they hit the water or soft peaty soil, they won't go off. But if they hit the deck of a building, or if you manage to land the shot directly into the body of the zombie, which will have a skeleton under it, so it'll have something to impact, and that'll work. You can just make a regular dex check and say, I'm throwing one of these X's. Do you want to?
Sure. Fuck it.
All right, and the blast radius is near. So you want to hit this other house? You want to hit 11?
Fuck it. Sure.
11 has two X marked jars under it itself.
So I could aim for the deck here.
Yeah, you could just hurl the fucking deck and detonate it. Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Give me a dex
grab
check.
grab a thing. Let's toss.
Amazing.
Hey.
5 of 6 X marked jars remain. It goes off, blows up. The swamp gas erupts violently. It's off an explosion. And rips through. There's all sorts of swamp grass and herbs out here. A sprightly old woman named Hedge and her family, and their full pantries have just gone up in smoke as they all explode. Their bodies are reduced to gore instantly. There's nothing left to bury, or whatever it is this place did with its dead.
I don't think they bury him.
Broken bits burn brightly against the alliterative night. And all these at the edge are suffering a cumulative 6d6. 16 or half on a save, which is actually going to matter.
All right.
Except they do a really bad job.
They are zombies.
Now,
After all.
important note: you see the zombies get blown apart. And you feel like they could probably keep going, but they've just been blown up and they're on fire. So the legs that keep moving and stuff sort of burn up and get destroyed. And yeah, it is a very quick wipeout. These zombies anywhere nearby are just on. There's only 3 zombies left headed towards you.
Sweet.
Although, important note on the zombie turn. Pool A has been very still thus far, but it starts to stir. It has a spooky, scary skeleton kind of stir, as 8 skeletons emerge from around its edge, and 2 swamp zombies besides. The ghouls and zombies from D are finally up and moving, and they move to press their line into your allies. The surviving southern zombies make their way to the rickety stairs 2 at a time and take their swipes. 1 at Vermson, 1 at the Nord. Delivering a miss and a hit. Vermson goes down, having been slammed by a zombie. He's in a bad way.
Oh no.
it seems that your local boy has 3 turns until his stabilization fails. The other zombie clatters over, comes right in, and says, brains, and starts to attack your Nord at the door as they begin to overwhelm. Delivering a crit for 7. Now, your Nord's a hardy fellow, but he's up at 3 gaming, and he says, help! The dead! As he shing, cuts at them. And Yarla, that's your boy.
Yes, that is indeed my boy. All right. So I've got a.
You've got
Yeah, here's my plan. Not only is my boy getting attacked, but my other boy is down at 4 rounds gaming. And so I'm gonna do an absolutely wild thing here and possibly invent for this universe the a certain football move that I don't know the name for because IRL I do not know shit about football, but I've seen it before. And in football, they grab a thing and then they run through a whole bunch of other guys, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I want to replicate.
You want to like grab...
But the thing in question is the local guy who just went down.
You want to like use him as a battering ram against the others?
Well, mostly myself, to be clear. As I want to have him like, tucked underneath my my shoulders
give me a
here.
strength check.
But I want to get him out of here.
You want to take him away from the medicine that we have here in the building?
Yarla didn't think
Yarla
that
hasn't
through,
thought that
but she
through.
does do what she's doing.
Okay.
Man, my strength score is awesome, but my rolls today have been shit.
Thankfully, they also got a shit roll. They ain't bad at strength. So you managed to barrel your way through 2 zombies with Vermson tucked under your arm. And once you actually break free, you're heading to your allies?
Yeah, like here-ish. Yeah, I want to get... Because I know that this place, if everybody else on my team does their jobs, is going to go up in smoke.
Do you want to like leave Ben to do the stabilizing?
Yeah.
He succeeds first try.
Oh shit. Hell yeah.
So good at this. Yeah.
All right, that's your turn. The Nord's like, fuck it, I'm going great axe out, 2 hands, axe into the zombie on him. Doesn't really hurt him that badly, unfortunately. Not great.
It's not. Oh, and we still have 3 zombies at the door currently?
2. Well,
2.
One of them has been bowled over so hard. Okay, 2 of them are on the ground because Yarly knocked them over, and one is like so far knocked over they're not even on the platform anymore. But none of them were destroyed by that. They were just knocked about.
Right. Okay.
There is a weird light that glows in front of the number 8 house. Who knows what that means? So, the peasants seem like they are intent on falling back to their houses and avoiding directly mingling with the undead. But after seeing 2 houses go up, they are spurred to action and starts to rush into the swampy fray. The battle line is enemy peasants and undead versus your crew that has been, to be frank, a little diminished since their last outing. And more peasants are standing up across the whole place. It's looking like people have gotten wise to the fact that their houses are going to explode shortly and are just starting to evacuate. Possibly running into battle, possibly not. People. So, whole village is up in arms, and your allies press and do battle Sadly, the shield wall eats the undead, and they do not really get the better of them. People using clubs and pitchforks and spears and paddles from behind. And oh wait, this guy has a skull on him. So yeah, this whole situation's a bit fucked, and unfortunately, your raiders have been broken up a little. In the distance, you do see two of your Nords who are sort of stragglers catching up. Burmson is stabilized, and I guess I'll roll a d20 and see if he gets up at 1 gaming. He doesn't get up at 1 gaming. Trogborg. It's your turn, Trogborg.
I'm going to be messing with the jars.
All right. What's your intentions with the jars?
I want to destroy those canopic ones. We're still doing that, right, guys?
They're already splattered. You could take your weapon and like stab the hearts that have been exposed to kill the. Do you want to?
Yeah, why
Or
not?
there's 12 underneath this along with bombs, and we could just start lighting that.
Yeah,
But that could cause a chain reaction, and you really want Trogborg to deal with explosives?
I think Trogborg has already started stabbing. These 3 by the door go limp and inert and stop fighting the Nord, who looks around and says, "Freya be praised." And yeah, what do you want to do? After that, do you want to move or do you want to stay here?
Yeah, I think I'll head outside.
Yeah,
because
the
as they
shield
said, there's
wall is
stuff
forming up.
downstairs.
Yeah, so you
Smart move.
you want to run out like off the deck because like the house is collapsed because you're 5 feet off the ground right now. You want to head like out to the shield wall or something?
No. I want to get under the house so I can start breaking the jars.
Okay, you get under the house.
Mm-hmm.
okay.
It is Album's turn. Album.
Okay. All of the canoptic jars inside the house are broken, correct?
All of them are broken, and all the organs inside have been stabbed horribly. There's like
Yes.
the rotting smell of very well preserved ancient corpse as like necromantic black ooze bumps out of it one last time. After
Gross.
Trogborg, cut them all up. Trogborg's now out and underneath. You are up here by the main stash. There's just you and the Nord inside, and Trogborg is in the danger zone if it were to go Kenny Loggins on you.
Okay. I think I'll just join Trogborg. I'll head out and under, because the most effective thing is to keep destroying these gross things.
All right, so you're down below, and there are 36 total jars. 12 Leaf and Star, 12 Evil Eye, 12 marked with an X.
Yes, I would like to start stabbing the evil eye ones.
All right, you start breaking and stabbing. Give me a dex to see how many you take out.
All right.
Of the 12, you managed to handle 6. Undead on the far side of the field, fighting your friends. Go
Excellent.
inert. 3 here, 1 right here. Right here. You haven't seen any from pool D go down yet. Alright, Album. That's your turn. You move down there, you start doing that. Pool E. You guess what's about to happen?
I'm aghast.
None. Only 5 skeletons and 5 zombies.
Wow. I'm actually quite surprised.
I still don't like that outcome. That's quite a lot of them.
This is why you choose not to live in a swamp, people.
Alright. I imagine that like Osmosis Jones inside of a swamp person when he said, "That's why you choose not to live inside of a swamp, people." I know you meant a comma there, but I didn't hear it. All right. So Yarla, your battle line is somewhat forming? Question mark. But your allies battling the undead at B, and your allies battling the main of the town and undead onslaught here in the middle are kind of divided. What do you do?
So, remind me again real quick, did we see more of these explosive jars in other houses, or is it just the main house?
Yes, no, under all sorts of them. So, like, for example, 4, 5, and 4 are to your northeast. Under 5, there is 1 jar marked with an X. Under 4, there are 8 fresh-felled swamp logs and assorted branches. Under 13, which is right here, there are 42 empty clay jars and 2 jars marked with a leaf and star.
Archers! Swing
You peeked it too hard. We didn't hear like half of that.
Oh, damn.
You managed to peek that entirely. Pretend you're shouting, but say it in inside voice.
Motherfucker. Alright. Archers! Aim for the jars with X's on them!
Sorry, so deflate.
I know. Zoom says no fun allowed.
Did it peak that time? I just
No,
didn't
you were
know.
fine. You were fine.
Right, and did you do what do you do on your turn? You give that order, right? And you have the sense people are
Yeah.
probably going to follow it out. But what do you do in the meantime? Just get in the line.
This is this is a
Ghoul.
ghast, right?
The ghoul. I don't have any art for ghasts,
Or
so
ghoul, sorry,
they're
yeah.
chilling in the
And
pools.
did you say 5 had explosives under it, or where?
5.
Where's the nearest place with explosives to me?
5 has 1 marked with an X. 4 only has logs.
All right, awesome.
So you can
I
run
want to
up
pick
here.
this guy up and throw him into number 5, if at all possible.
All right, he looks kind of strong, but sure, give me a strength check.
My rolls today, you know what? I'm lucking that. I'm gonna luck that. Boom.
I think
We're
you go
lucking
Freya
this.
set. Doesn't that give you an extra D6 or something?
Wait. Yeah, with the Freya one, what does it do again? Because I have that.
Yeah, it's 1d6. Although, I think
Yeah,
it's the
it's not
kind of
gonna do
game
much,
where a
but-
crit fail is a crit fail.
All right. Well,
Sorry.
I won't roll it then. It's a crit fail. Hey, I got beat.
No, you
rules,
speak-
rules.
Well, actually, you won the contest. You rolled a 7, they rolled a 6. But
That's
like, it's not really enough to lift them. So they don't get to scratch you, but you don't get to throw them. Is what happens. Your allies advance, and the ones in the back draw bows. Their shafts fly through. There are 3 jars marked with an X under 12 and 2 at 13. Fire rips through. Explosions rip through. More and more of the village is destroyed. I mean, you're kind of fucked. I mean, they're kind of fucked. Whole thing kind of fucked. Like, boards are flying everywhere. You can smell the release of swamp gas at this point. The fire is probably about to start spreading across the flaming boards have been strewn all over the village. And, yeah, the numerous D6 that are going out, these peasants aren't surviving that. There's more like peasant and undead gore, and even some of their front line, I mean, even with a half, they're not surviving. That guy is just, yeah, peasant gore and flaming bits of wood and peasant go past you, so too undead. There is a stirring and like a knocking inside the many planked, windowless house, but nothing happens there yet. Vermson is out of action. Your brave heroes in the east fight their fell east in the west, east, and Your heroes have managed to chop up most of the undead at this point over here, and the zombies move slow enough and they see the battle that your heroic compatriots decided they're just going to rush over here through the water near the underside of the big house in order to reach the line, because they know they can't leave the shield wall alone forever. So through the fire and the flames, they come. The guy from the house has gotten out by now. They're stacked a little dangerously close to the big house. Album, I'm assuming you would start to shoot people.
There's still some jars left to destroy, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you probably want them to not be in position when it's time to explode the place. If you're going to do that. You're going to have to do that. You're about to finish killing the Canoptics. But, you know, your choice.
My preference would be to still finish destroying the Canopics.
Alright. Roomston is down. Peasants. The enemy peasants, largely have no way to approach the party that isn't inflicted by the flames. Half their village destroyed. Those who still aim to fight appear to begin massing around Pool A. And as they do so, yeah, they grab the jars from underneath 17.
That's not great.
So, 17 has been looted of its jars. And 3 jar-bearing peasants, marked with the flying wing, are now fanning out.
Were they flying now?
They fly now? No, I just used that because more limited selection of symbols than Roll20 has. And they now are prepared to engage in the same trick. So, good luck handling that. It's Album's turn.
Fire the ones with the...
Oh boy. Okay, so sorry, just to clarify, are there still Canopic jars remaining near me?
Yeah, so there's 6 left to smash.
Alright, let's do it.
Roll me a dex check to see how many you get rid of.
Yep.
You do a middling job and only finish 3 of the remaining. You do note that that seems to wipe out everything left in the eastern pool, however. B is no longer presenting any sort of danger.
Very good. Is Trogborg still here smashing jars?
I think Trogborg is still down there to help finish off jars, right? Yeah.
Wait, did Trogborg take their turn?
Oh, fuck, I skipped Trogborg's turn. Trogborg. Weird,
Yep.
cut. Do you want to be participating or, like, take care of that? Or
I'm gonna be breaking jars, unless there's something else.
give me a dex check.
All right, will do. And it is.
You don't do great, but you managed to finish it off with Album. One of the ghoul who's about to slash Yarla with a paralytic claws drops inert and then goes. Ugh. And some of these others to the north, but again, none of the ones that seem to be coming from the south seem to be having this problem. The ones from D. So, when you two are done, would you move somewhere? Would you get behind the line? Would you dance to the south with the fire and the flames to 11? Or are you guys, like, what's y'all up to? You've finished destroying Canopic jars at 9.
Yes, I think we should get well clear of this pile of explosives.
Some of them.
Say what?
Try to grab some on your way out.
Do I have time to grab any on the way out?
Just kick them like soccer balls. What's the worst that could happen?
That's the worst possible
You
idea.
spent your actions destroying the contents of the jars, unfortunately.
Yeah, I figured. Uh,
You have movement. Do you want to use it on your turn or end your turn here?
I would definitely want to move. I would. Are there any enemy combatants in just north of the shield wall?
No, they're dead.
Okay,
There's
then
also
I would, I think, head over that way.
Frogborg, where would you want to end your turn? Yep. All right.
Let it up.
A ghoul emerges from the south and slashes at your brave Nord. Missing. A zombie in the line tries to slam. Various violence happens. Important note is that skeletons start to come in under the northern houses to press on your line. And the undead, generally with little fear of the fire, advance eastward, walking through burning peat and catching bits of it on their feet, not really giving a shit, nor being able to really think about it. The eastern ones sort of their ways forward. And yeah, the enemy press in. They begin to make headway. Your allies begin to suffer very real wounds in front of you.
Hmm.
And they have nasty looking gashes torn
I
into
just
them.
relay something. Shoot.
And one of them no, he doesn't get paralyzed. Yep, are we pinging this for some reason? Or... Alright. Yarla's turn.
Okay, I'm actually just gonna run back into this place.
So I'll just mention I forgot that we should probably investigate building number 8 because there's some spooky shit happening over there.
What's going on, number 8?
There was some like weird glowing, and also it's like a unusual building with no windows.
I grabbed the horn from earlier. Can I break it with my greatsword?
Yes. Well, so yeah, you can like destroy the horn, but I mean, Album could give me like an. Alright, you smash the horn, it like cracks with a horrible, and black smoke flies out of it. The enemy don't seem to stop advancing though.
Well, I'm in a building that's about to explode. That was a piss poor idea. I thought I had something there. This is why Yarla doesn't do the thinking for the fucking party, or.
I mean, it was worth a shot.
The Nords press against the vampires, and though they equip themselves well and do cut down some skeletons, the no vampires yet. The zombies prove resilient.
What? I hate the
I
city.
was gonna say vampires.
Oh my
I don't know about that. That would be possibly reason to retreat, but no.
We might just be about at that point. It's like I really thought there was gonna be an easy answer.
There's kind of like a creaking at the front door of the of House 8, by the way. You get to play Guess That
It has
Pokemon
doors but no
while I
windows.
update. There's one door, no windows.
Mm-hmm.
Now the question is, do we want to see what's in there, or do we want to just throw an explosive and pray?
Yes, the latter. We don't need to see to kill.
I mean, but what if there's treasure in there?
We'll fish it out of the ruins. You know the nice thing about gold? It doesn't explode. Only wood does that. And sometimes small stones.
What if gold does explode?
I mean, it can melt.
It's not a world I want to live in. Quit it with your fanciful ideas about what the world could be like. What are you, Mary Shelley?
All right. The white has joined the fray.
Oh.
God, we really are in the South.
Amazing.
That's-
So, the peasants make one final angry charge. This one tries to throw under the beams of these houses a X-marked jar at the northern tip of your line.
Damn it.
That
Oof.
impacts.
That's not good.
So
This is why they invented volleyball, actually?
that Nord, that Nord is dead. Your wounded Nord buddy from earlier is dead. Vermson might be having some burn wounds. Various people are making their dex checks. Bad things are happening, and the fire and explosion rips up through 4 and 5, including setting off one of those in an explosion, which, to be fair, does kill the skeleton and does kill this ghoul and does wound this.
Alright.
But yeah, so the fire and the flames have only grown.
This is a pretty wicked effect.
We might want to actually retreat.
Genuinely, yes, actually. Let's head towards the white.
They have grenades.
Or, I guess, to the south. Which way is the
Uh,
best? No,
I
yeah,
do-
towards the white.
Northeast
I-
is towards. If you get up here, this is where your ships are parked. In case anyone felt like running away, I say for no
Wait,
particular
up
reason.
here. Sorry, hold on.
Northeast, where I just pinged. This is the escape route that takes you back to your ships.
Okay, yep. To the northeast!
Now, if we can throw an explosive at the White House,
Mm-hmm. I agree. Let
that
us
would be-
indeed throw an
Don't-
that'd be
explosion
nice.
at the white house.
Yeah, don't say that in a certain way. They're gonna be knocking on my door. So
in Minecraft, FBI agent, in
so
Minecraft.
Gaztog attempts to lead you all to disengage. Do you go with his movement? Not hearing a no right now. Hello?
Wait, who are you asking?
Everyone. Do you consent to moving with
Yes.
Gaztog when he moves the group?
Yes, I grabbed the acid staff on my way out of that house.
All right, you grab the Bogman Spiller, and someone carries Vermson, and yeah, the group manages to get back to here, and the white stares you down, most horrifyingly, steps out, and you see clearly now a moist, emaciated figure with a sword. They step down and raise a sword and challenge towards you.
I'm like, that's nice. Bye.
Yeah, that's nice.
All right, it is Frogborg turn.
All right. I'm gonna go, and I already moved, right, with the group.
Yeah.
Damn, I can't go and hit this guy then.
No, you can. I'm giving it to you for the common movement. You want to run up and attack him?
Yeah, I'm charging because it's Trogborg.
Trogborg.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Alright.
I mean, of all of us, you're the one most likely to survive a frontal assault.
You
Indeed.
slam into him for 8 damage. You send hunks of the dead man flying with your bastard sword. He levels his to reply soon. Trademark. Album.
Let's see. Just quickly review. I'll just fire magic missile at the white.
Call me a shot.
Oh, painful. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna use my luck to reroll. So I just roll it again, right? Unlose the spell. Much better.
Here, give me the damage. The bolt of force slams into the white, dealing 4 damage.
Hell yeah.
You hear a rumbling, and you can't see it, but you see zombies start to come out of this building.
Oh my god, there's more!
God damn it!
This
There's
is why I
quite a
wanted
few in
to
there.
explode it.
These
Yeah,
ones
we
are
really should have exploded that fucking house!
these ones are all dressed a little differently as well, and almost with the regal affair of the filigree of Corinter's robe. It's similar in like the village head kind of outfit. This zombie tries to slam your boy Trogborg from up the stairs, hitting and dealing 4 damage. I'll put it on you. And the undead behind you pursue through the swamp.
Oh, sorry, I should have clarified that after my action I would have run further north.
Oh yeah, by all
if
means,
I had
by
the
all means,
option.
move like 30 feet north.
How many squares is that?
Though, in fairness, if
If you
anybody's going
measure-
to survive one of those blasts, it would
6,
also
but
be
also
Trogborg.
if you measure, it will tell you.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yep.
Cool.
Throw yourself about that far north, and Yarla, your turn.
Wait, how do I switch back?
There's a little button on the top right.
Okay, well, if a challenge is to be leveled at us, Yarla's going to be involved.
No, we gotta get out of here.
Indeed! Leave me behind!
God damn it.
You slice through the white, who falls equally lifeless but now destroyed as you sever his mortal coil to his spine, and he collapses into jittery nothingness.
And one more move up north, because, yeah, we still need to blow this thing up.
Alright, the Nords are broadly speaking retreating with you, occasionally offering a javelin or arrow as they retreat.
Someone blow
The
up
approach is slow through unfamiliar swampy terrain. People give a wide berth to the house spitting dead and trend more to the burning peat. And now, the peasants, I mean, so much of everything is on fire. The pirate guys had to leave with his family because everything's burning. And the line of fire is so thick that the peasants of the village cannot presently pursue you. Gaztog sort of, directs most of the people, like all the people with you, to withdraw. This peasant was an enemy. This guy's dead. He's like, Trogborg, join us. And Trogborg,
Yep. Yep.
there are 8. You see through the door, you can see into this place. A thickly planked house, right? And within, there's a dark, moist room. These loosely wrapped, mummified bodies seem to be adorned in the markings of the heads of this village. Underneath, everything is dead. The grass, the bugs, and the water itself. However, you note that inside, there's just as many jars. Yes, there are 8 evil eye jars inside this shack with 8 village heads.
Is there an explosive?
Do you have one?
No, sadly.
I think
did
you
not
would
make
have. Didn't you loot at least one from the?
Well, when you were looting and I asked you, grab from among them how you would, did you just take oil flasks?
I took 8 oil flasks because I could only take 200 gold, so that took an item slot. So,
Bear in
yeah.
mind, there are lit black candles inside this place. If you smash an oil jar inside there, it would catch fire. It might take a second to happen, but you would catch fire. Do you want to give me a dex check and toss the
Yep,
oil flask?
might as well.
Beautiful. It splatters and the whole place goes up swiftly. Not like a sudden concussive explosive, but you get the sense that this is probably about to be, a place where the, pots are going to come crashing down as the wood does. Frogboard, do you flee on your turn?
Yeah, I'm rushing. I'm like, okay, good.
All right. Here's what happens. Correct me if I'm wrong, but everyone's just running at this point, right?
Yep.
As you disappear around the bend, you see the Hall of Flesh, number 8, collapse, and there's a cracking. And as these zombies go inert, all 8 of the zombies from this house go inert and are consumed by burning peat and dead waters. You hear cries of confusion and violence from the town, as if though the undead have gone completely out of control. And
we should leave.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, do you guys head for the longship?
Yeah, to safety.
And did somebody get?
Yeah.
2 people died. But 2 people also got on the map. So you run back and start to push off your ships. They have caked deeply into the mud, and you hear the sounds of angry villagers and ghouls behind you. Does someone want to give me a strength-related sailing check, perhaps with advantage because she's good at it?
Yes, indeed I shall.
And does somebody want to push the other ship? Because, both of these need to get pushed.
Yeah, because we're sea wolves.
Yeah, Trogborg, give it to me.
A 9.
A 12 is enough. Okay. Oh, wait, no, yeah, 9. Okay. Trogborg, the wounded and confused don't seem to be moving fast enough to really assist you. You are on your own, trying to get it out. One boat begins to pull away as enemies start to appear around the corner. Does anybody do anything to assist Trogborg or leave him for one last shove?
Going to. Oh yeah.
I was gonna say I could try to help, but I do have a -2 to strength.
Yarla's going to hand you the oars or the wow. What am I using to command this? I don't know.
Rudder?
I mean, Yarla's going to hand you the rope to the sail, I guess, and attempt to leap over to the other longboat. Is that possible?
Yeah, so the pretty shallow swamp, you splosh over. Give me a strength check. Advantage because it's sailing related.
Okay, sure. I'll take it.
And the 2 of you, Trogborg and Yarla, managed to heal up and out.
Excellent. Are there any stragglers, by the way, who look like they've made it out of the village and are desperate to escape?
They look like they're probably desperate to kill you because you just destroyed their village. But yeah, I mean, you see them. They're the only one who isn't is you do see a pirate and his wives who are escaping
Excellent.
with their loot. Do you offer him a
I
ride?
welcome them aboard.
All right. He has some fragrant herbs, and he looks mildly annoyed. With that, you peel out, and just
Lose
as
a few
quickly
Vikings, gain a few Vikings.
as the night begins, the night ends. Except not ends because you're at the beginning of the night, and I don't think you're gonna want to stop sailing.
No.
Nope.
Meaning that you are forced to push through the night. Everyone, make me a con check.
Let's see. Weirdly enough, I actually have very good constitution as a wizard.
Helps you concentrate, I think.
My money.
Drogborg gets eaten,
I sleep.
but the rest of them don't. The issue now is navigation. Heavy fog. It's night. It's raining. Don't know what the fuck is going on. Who is going to give the command? Like, who is trying to navigate through this with danger behind you?
Well, so
You got some people good at
uh
sailing?
I think I mean like I don't want to be the one person who's saying I'll do it to everything, but Garla's definitely
Give me a wisdom check.
Trogborg is sleeping. You do it.
sailor oriented.
Yeah, give me a wisdom check.
Yeah, go for it.
Do I get advantage on this because of the
What does it say all sailing related checks?
great question. I think it actually does, but I could be stupidly wrong. Let me just remind myself what had. Oh, Jesus. All right, I guess I need the actual.
Um,
I don't have it easily accessible.
Do you have it on your sheet, Ramba?
Uh, the talent?
Yeah,
Seawolf.
the one that gives you the bonus for sailing that all the she-wolves get.
Yeah, it should be Seafarer. Yeah, you have advantage on checks related to navigating and crewing boats.
All right, then I'll
Navigating,
roll
yep,
again. Thank you.
advantage. And you do a sight better. Um, you peel east, sail through the night, you are exhausted. You arrive at the edge of the swamp at a fen. Beyond, you see a pleasant country inn.
Well, okay. Gotta be better than where we came from.
as long as it's not a cannibalistic country inn.
They do have those, I've heard.
By the way, quick side question. Album managed, purchased a single healing jar at the beginning of the exchange.
You have that.
How much do they heal for again?
So, the Bogband Tar heals for your level many HP.
So equal HP equal to your level?
Yeah.
Okay.
There. Alright, so you drift, and, clearly I have the Fenfield Tavern. Yeah, here's the Fenfield Tavern. So, the Fenfields Tavern awaits you as I upload the map. Your crew is very tired, and you could use a place to rest. seem to have come upon just a place. Again, your party is prepared to investigate that trusty set of investigators, and I will give you shown I can wrangle the.
Might well be time we took a moment to rest, Yarla says as she goes to kind of prepare for disembarking, by which I mean to say I take my own little brief break to use the bathroom.
So, you come upon Fenfield Tavern. Um, you note that there is a lovely pond to the south, and there's a tavern keep behind the bar, and they seem to have a room upstairs. There's also a stable. Keep a saddle. There's a saddled donkey there, and some servers come and go from the back room.
Well, I can go in and do introductions.
Pop
If
in, pop in, and he eyes you up and down and says, "You be happen to be here for?" And you see, there's also two soldiers. Says, "Are you looking for a room or just a drink?"
uh, just out of character, would we all fit in the inn?
Not all of your sailors, no. Although he does, well, yes, in the sense that he offers. There are rooms upstairs. There's 3 rooms upstairs, and you can sleep on the floor. 8 silver a night for the rooms, 2 silver a night for the floor. You definitely afford. But you might not want to have everyone away from the ship anyway.
Fair. Okay. Um, well, yes. So, I guess I'll say, yes, we are interested in a room or two, uh, or however many, but we are wary from travel and have encountered terrible monsters out in the swamp, and could use a place to rest.
Oh, monsters in the swamp. That sounds awful. Of course. They conduct you in. Have a nice time. The offers you some rooms and pay, and you have your choice of the upstairs room. The creaky room, the scenty room, and the kludgy room. Kludgy room's door seems to have a chance to get stuck. Slightly open. Or slightly closed. Creaky room, you know that every time someone comes up and down these stairs, the creaky room, there would be very loud creaking as the window bows and creaks loudly. Um, so it'd be impossible to miss even you're half awake, someone coming and going. Scenty room, where the sense of kitchen and baking permeate. Which room are you feeling?
I like the sound of the scenty room.
All right. And as you come in, by the way, you can't help but notice that there is a huge tapestry um, in the long hallway. Picks a battle against a swampy dragon. One figure, a paladin with shimmering blade, fights blindfolded as smoggy breath blasts around them.
Hmm.
It would appear to be worth about 10 GP. But you pull into your room, and you and the group can bed down for the night. And most importantly, and as Pat comes back, you can have this discussion, but you and Ramba as well. Um, what what will you do now? And feel free to tell me you would like to be looking at the world map to have that conversation.
Sure. Let's pull up the map. Take a look.
Book.
Did I hear there was a world map appearing?
Yeah.
My.
So, God's, y'all love rotation. So This is East Curlizia. You have just, burned down the swamp village. It seems like
And good riddance, honestly.
Good fucking
That
riddance.
shit was fucked, and
yep,
they deserved
It
what they
was
got.
great.
yeah. So
It was great, by which I mean to say, for the first time, a morally ambiguous destruction of a town. Or
yeah,
morally
We left it
unambiguous.
better than we found it.
yeah.
Literally,
Exactly.
for the first time ever, correct.
So, what do you guys want to do? Or rather, what plan do you hatch in your Fenfield Tavern room?
Well, I feel like I missed out on some plot for the last couple of sessions. So I don't know if there's any pressing, like, ongoing quests. Um, but I was curious about this location, L11.
L11, you say? So that is Hadhu City. That's the city where you heard about, like, that has the Wizard's Tower and the Princess, a lot of stuff there, and a shady place and a shady pier where you learned you could go do business from a lizard folk back over in the Alehouse. It's a really big
Yes.
city built into a cliff. It got attacked by Viking raiders. They're all kind of on edge, but those raiders also included like some cult types who seems to fall back just as they were winning.
Well, I'm curious, or rather, I'm interested in going there to like go shopping and possibly learn some wizardy things.
Yeah, there'd be
Uh,
absolutely be the place for whiz-biz, as they say.
yeah. So not a raiding excursion, but
No, yeah, you would not be able to take it down. It would probably not appear good to be representing like. The thing is, right? It's been about 4 days now since you burned down the village on Yoiltot. Your ship, word of your ship could have spread as a raiding ship, and it has a very prominent, unique masthead in the form of Ron. However, you have another ship with you now that was associated with the monastery attack, but you didn't leave any survivors from the monastery attack. So you could either take one of your ships all the way down the river, leaving the other here, although it's a long trip. It would take you like, you couldn't go back there and back in a day, right? Or you could proceed overland, cross the bridge, enter Hadhu City, and then come back the way you came, and pass yourselves off as literally anything other than Viking raiders.
I kind of like that idea. But
There'd be certain disadvantages in the sense that you wouldn't have, you know, the ships and men nearby, but you'd absolutely be able to make it to the city.
what are the other two? Uh, You two think?
Oh, this sounds fun. Let's do it.
Yeah, fuck it, why not?
Sweet.
Much to be gained from entering a wizard's tower. Just for the purposes of reminding me, whereabouts is the stuff related to the swamp dragon quests?
The Spire of Swamp and the Spire of Sea.
Okay, so directly. Oh, yeah, so nowhere near the wizard's tower.
Well, I mean, in a sense.
Where's the wizard's tower again? Is it
Okay,
11?
okay,
L11
okay,
is the
okay.
place that I was looking at.
F10 is a Wizard's Tower. L11 has 3 distinct Wizard's Towers inside the city limits.
Jesus, there's so many wizards.
You
This
only
place is
heard about
lousy with
you
wizards.
only heard about the L11 wizard situation as a person who might be able to introduce you to the F10 wizard. But like every time someone's talking about the wizard's tower, they've pretty much always been talking about this tower. But there are like 3 wizards who like do their whiz biz in Hadhu
Gotcha.
City.
So we're walking to Hahu City.
That's right. So
All right. Sounds like a deal.
time comes, time goes. You bring a number of your companions, cough cough the player characters, and set out. There's heavy rain. It is a cool day with heavy rain. No fog. You head through a fen. Everyone's favorite.
You say that like it is.
What do
You see a peasant lying face down in the peat, axe. Their back. The corpse is beginning to bogify.
Oh,
Totally normal process. Just let nature do its business.
well, that's pleasant. Uh, do you see anyone else nearby? Just at first glance?
No, it seems that the body's been here for some time, and the axe wasn't left, and anything of value has been cut from the belt string. So you get the sense that perhaps one of your cousins ran into him.
Ah,
Maybe
I
that.
see. And nothing to loot, huh? A shame.
All right, so come upon bridge. A bridge not too far, but just far enough. It happens. It grows a busy sight ahead of you. There is a white stone bridge that towers high between two hills, so high you could sail a ship under it. The statue of Saint Taragnus, built into the railing, facing a statue of a faceless Kirlizian king. Both hold their blades aloft towards one another. They're chipped and faded from the chisel marks of marble thieves. You see, in attendance, many people, some in glittering armor, and others in peasants' rags. There are 11 peasants, 6 soldiers, and 4 knights here. They are pilgrims, clearly praying for the blessing of Saint Taragnus. How's everyone's alignment feeling now? No particular reason.
Bored.
Let's see. I do have a lawful alignment.
Neutral.
All right.
Remind me. I feel like I'm neutral.
Album, you feel vaguely, like things aren't that bad here. Rugborg, you get some strange looks, and as you guys cross the bridge, by the end of it, all of them are looking at you. No one says anything, but it is an inauspicious way to arrive at Hadhu's city.
Backing them. Like, I'm walking here. Energy.
You arrive in Hadhu's city. City of many
Filled with
districts
hoots.
and much construction.
Right. This is where the our not quite friends sacked, right?
Yes. So let me just no, I don't have a proper party token. Do I have a proper party? Have bam. So you arrive along a main paved road at the court district. The city is somewhat in chaos. It doesn't have exterior walls, although it does have a castle higher up. And these bits are desolation. You feel like they're still unsafe, and they even give you an ill-at-ease sensation to be. Arrive in the court. And why is it not? It's not coming up because I
Our
haven't.
district is so far away from the castle district. I wonder why. They must hate law in this town and protecting it.
But you know that it's largely not that desolated.
The court district isn't?
Yeah, look
Fucking
at it.
lawyers.
Well defended.
Of
So
course they'd be safe during chaos. Probably paid off the Vikings.
You enter into the court district. There's a lot of people milling about, going about their business, coming to and fro with goods. But you witness two women skipping rocks the road to settle an argument. An adjudicator watches with great interest, as they have determined that this will determine the custody of a chicken. All in agreement nod as one of the women skips the better rock, and she curses her ill luck, prays that Getty will replace her losses as they disperse. So,
Huh.
you're in a large city. There's a big, clear, clean road that will take you to other places, and you see the place across the river that you were told was a good place to do shady business in the Low District. Of course,
Yola turns to Trogborg. We should take that woman's chicken.
The
We
fact
could
is that they
just
used that to solve the ownership of the chicken. These people are civilized.
Okay, okay.
no, we just got here. Let's not cause trouble.
I don't know. If they're able to settle the chicken dispute like that effortlessly without bloodshed, I don't know what we'll do if we do fight them.
We'll probably try and skip stones to see which one of us was the responsible party.
do you want to by the way, there's people here like having market and such, and also holding court with various other folk courts going on. Do you want to listen for rumors, perhaps?
Sure.
Yarla is going to watch to see if anybody else starts skipping stones so that she can throw a stone into the mix that's even better and cooler and more well thrown than theirs.
I think that slick Lord Luca Pfeiffer is up to something. Maybe he's the reason the Temple of Madeira fell. Whatever punishment we face for that failure, it's all his fault.
Hmm.
You're already hearing scurrilous rumors being bandied about.
What drama? I love it.
And
Is he on our hit list?
I don't think he's like a lord of the land, but maybe. I think you think any sufficiently well placed, any noble, any lord would probably be a kill target based on the criteria you were told. You see a
Nice,
stand
nice.
at the edge, number 15, as you come into town. A simple hangman stand, 10 foot up, where people gather to debate the law and the fates of those to be hung. The crowd has been known to overwhelm the hangman and spare those who made a strong emotional appeal. It is a grim reminder that Curlisian justice is the grim reminder of Curlisian justice to outsiders, but the people here drink and relax casually. So, where do you want to go? We're vaguely aware of all of the districts, and you know what 16 is, and you know what 15. You could also just keep going down the road to the market district. People tend to do, a lot of business.
I'm my interest is visiting the markets,
All right,
so that's my vote.
you
Indeed,
keep.
we are here on business.
All right, as you keep going, someone says, "The Queen's Way." Oh, it's the King's Way. Oh, it's the Queen's Way now. Oh, I don't think it's the Queen's Way at all. What do you mean? Well, I mean, she's not been crowned yet, so it's still, we don't know which way it's gonna go. By that, well, I'm just saying, it's never done it before coronation before. Why change now? There's a bit of a little conversation, and you see a brilliant four-story wattle and daub inn with each floor jettied further out than the last, create a nice sense of shade on the street, and a garden patio in the back. The paint is fresh, and the sign displays prominently the crown of Curlisia. The crest of all Curlisia stands proudly over the hearth you see through. It shows twin spears crossed, sprouting from the waves, symbolizing a unite east and west. There's all manner of food and drink here. And in fact, it presently entertains no less than 21 patrons.
Uh-huh. Nice and busy. Um,
And yeah, the patrons and an owner, a portly man named Clegg, debate whether or not to rename the Queensway Inn, or indeed Road, just yet. Surmises is a major inn where there's comings and goings at the edge of the market district.
yeah, okay. It just occurred to me. Um, we still have a bunch of like looted items, generally speaking,
Do
not necessarily on our person. Um,
you want to start to look for like criminal types and fences?
yeah, especially if we're gonna go shopping, it would be helpful to
Does
have.
anyone have a background in that sort of a thing?
Well, we did change some of that stuff to be spices, so we
Yeah,
can sell
you,
it
yeah,
above board.
you change a lot of stuff over into spice, so you can make it above board liquidation.
Oh, okay. That sounds good to me.
Would you like to go to the Gilded Circle and arrange the sale? The Central Market?
Yeah, let's do it.
You head to the Gilded Circle. As you pierce in the market district, you see that there's a fire breather gouting flames. So, you arrive at the Golden Circle under auspicious flames.
How delightful. By the way, of the three of us,
Gilded Circle, sorry. Yep.
do any of us have a positive charisma modifier?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay. Just for negotiation purposes, I'm at +0.
I'm at +2.
Nice.
All right.
There's
So,
a reason y'all are so
you find
beloved by the people.
a grand circle half filled with awnings and crates. Chopped up wood and bargain barrel price Viking apparel, light bloodstains only, take up the conspicuous gap in business Great Space once had. Merchants are buying and selling a lot of goods at double the price, and people are desperately bargaining with heirlooms and silverware and tools and food for tools and food to upkeep their households. Um, the mood's a little grim, but you can certainly do great. Yarla, give me a charisma check.
All right. The people love it.
Beautiful.
While
And
you're here,
also, if they don't, well,
yeah, you managed to arrange a good deal quickly with someone who's quite interested in what you're selling. And as that gets wrapped up, someone says, they say there's a way into the seminary from below their rock bridge. A hoard of gold inside. Someone says, you ought not say that sort of thing. They might think you're trying to filch. Seminary. And someone's like, have you heard the rumor? Say someone's hit the monastery at the point. Say it isn't so. Truly, we will be judged by Madeira if we should fail to avenge such a blow. And yeah, so as that happens, you have arranged that you're going to bring around the spice and sell it for all the gold it's worth. You're just gonna have raw cash. With this out of the way, you guys look to. So you've liquidated your legitimately laundered stuff. You still have some other stuff and some other desires. You heard that the like these high districts is where the wizards' towers are. You want to head up there?
Would there be in the market district, would there be any like magic shops essentially?
So
Anyone selling magical trinkets?
you could definitely find the occasional person who's trying to pawn something off as magic, and you could definitely find some things that have more power than they know. Of Bill Deal, Ally McBeal, uh, dedicated magic business. Um, You think? I mean, do you ask around, or are you just looking?
Mostly just looking. I don't want to attract too much attention yet. But it's
You don't.
essentially is like, is there a place that advertises itself as such? And it sounds like no.
Um, you don't see anything.
Okay, then yeah, I would say we continue heading down the way.
Into the temple district. Upon the unbent tower of Ord, an 8-sided stone clockwork, immaculate stonework, and flying buttresses rival any 8 stories, 10 feet tall, central cutout up and down, a total of 80 feet tall. And yeah, it seems this is where they worship the god of magic. As you continue on, there's a cathedral of St. Taragnus, and pass into the High District. Things get really fancy in the High District. Pass by the Rogther Estate, a formidable 3-story house with gargoyles inert on the roof. And you come on the Outlook Bar and Delicateessery, a ritzy bar serving wine, liquor, and pastries. After that, you finally come to the Castle District with garrisons and stables and the like, and staring right down at the garrison with all the knights moving around. Um, come upon the Lonely Three, 3 standalone towers belong to the independent mages. You heard their names as you arrive. Toblin, the enigmatic gnomist alchemist, Borgar, the half-orc conjurer, and Tywone Lyriel, the elvish illusionist. Each have a number of apprentices, and do you go calling upon a wizard, upon Wizbiz?
Indeed, that's what we're here for.
Do I even have a good? Oh, all right, so all right, you arrive at the wizard's tower. All the 3 of you, and nondescript allies. And which of the 3 did you want to call upon? I can itemize.
Yes, please.
Alchemist, a conjurer, and an...
Um, well, considering we failed to acquire any significant amount of medicines at our previous locations, previous destinations,
Right,
uh,
right. I'm fair.
why don't we visit the
Certainly
alchemist?
not my fault. Sounds good to me.
All right.
I
So
promise I won't throw a
you
canopic
arrive at the
jar.
alchemist right as we hit 10 p.m., which I believe is quitting time. This show. So, uh,
Very,
thank you
very good.
all for coming to join us, and sure to see you. We hope to see you next time. And I see there's someone who's afraid. So, thank you all for coming out, dreamers. We're going to pop a shot, and yeah, until next time. Oh, it does not allow you to raid. It disallowed raiding. Let's see if these people allowed raiding. We're going to do all on the flip time. Ow.
Yeah. Have a good night, everybody.